everyone, I welcome you all to this section. My name is Dare Future from Kingdomflavour Media Hub. It's a privilege for me to tutor you in the section of KF Creative Academy. So basically, this video is to show us run through the interface in Photoshop. So basically, when you open your Photoshop, you'll see something like this. Forget about all these images you see here. These are the interface of my previous work I just did recently. So any work you do will show this way. So forget about it for now. It's none of our concern for now. Alright, now when you open your Photoshop, this is how it's going to look like. You come under create, this is the width of the width and the height of whatever you want to work on, and this is where you name your file. Yes, you name your file. Okay, basically now let's go with 1/8 by 1/8 for our size of our workspace. Sorry, 1/8 pixels. Make sure it's in pixels. Whatever size you're using for your work, it should be in pixels. See what is here? Pixels. And leave every other settings here as default. Yeah, resolution 300. Yeah, pixels per inches. Your color mode is RGB color. These are your default settings. Leave everything as default as it is. Just get you could name your file here. Let me start. You just name your file, then you click on create. Basically, this is how it will look like. So I will just run us through the interface roughly for us to understand one or two things here. It's going to be short and understandable. Yeah, basically now these are interface. Now this is how it's going to look like. These are all your these are our toolbar, these are our tools, the tools we use to create whatever we want to create. All of them have their different function. Now this particular tool is the current tool I'm using now, and these are our move tool. As you can see, as I click on it, it's as automatic. It shows me its use here by the side of the screen. Now is our move tool. We can use it to move any object inside of our workspace. And the shortcut for that key is V. That's our shortcut for our move tool. Okay, let me start. For example, now let me get an image from my PC here. Let's get an image. Which image? Okay, let me drag this image here now. Yes, so now as our move tool is already selected. So you see, with our move tool, I could move this image. I can move this image. Yeah. Then above here is our align tool. As you can see now, it's not active. So for the align tool to be active, I have to come here, this 3 dots where my cursor is. You click on it. You come down. It's on selection. You click on selection and choose it to canvas and select canvas. When you select canvas, you click on enter on your keyboard. Click on enter on your keyboard. So now our tool now is now active. So if I want to centralize this particular image, I want it to be centralized or move the particular side. Now if I click on here, it has come to the middle. Here it has centralized on both end. I don't know if you are getting me. Yes, this is its function. Now if I want it to be, take for example, now I rescale this image. If I want to rescale an image here, the function I'm going to click on now is going to be Ctrl T. to select it, Control T. So I can scale this big, small, big, small. When I click on my Control T, that is the function of Control T. So maybe I've scaled to the size that I need here now. I'm going to click on this icon, this good icon here. Good. Alright now. So let me show us more on this align tool now. So I want it to come to the middle now. I'll just click on here now. It has come to the middle. If I want it to be at the if I want it to be centralized on both ends now, click on here now. It is now, meaning it's the space on each of this side are equal now. The space above and the space below is the same. The space here and the space here is the same. So if I want it to be sided, if I want this image now to come to this side now, I'll just click on here now. It is centralized to one end. If I want it to come to the other end, the same thing now. I don't know if you're getting the function. If I want to move above, is here now. If I want it to come below, is here. So that is the function of this now. So if I want it to be centralized on both ends now, I'll click here and also click here. So that is the function of this align tool. Alright now. So the next tool I would like to show us here now is our selection tool here now. Is to select an object now. Is it? Select a particular part in whatever in it and select it now. That's its function. You may want to maybe delete that option now. I can just easily click on delete. Okay, sorry. The reason why it did not delete is because my object, the object here is a smart object. Smart object simply means the object is rigid. The object is rigid. So in Photoshop we have what was smart object and rasterized object. So when an object is smart object, no matter how you work on that object, you can revert it back to the original state of that object. But when an object is rasterized, you can't, after working on it, you can't revert it back. You can't revert it back to its normal stage. It has become permanent. But if you work with smart object, it can be reversed to its original state. Okay, I think I will still explain more on that for us to understand. So after selecting an object, if I want to deselect it now, what I will click on Control D on my keyboard, Control D to deselect an object. Alright now, if I want to move back to my move tool, which is the most tool that we'll be using very well in our working space here, I'll click on V, like I told us earlier. V is our shortcut for move tool. If you're not comfortable with the shortcut, you can just come here and click on the move key itself. This is the move key. Let me go back again. I was at the selection tool before. So if you click on V, it automatically move to the move key. That is its shortcut key. Alright now, let's take for example now this object, this our image now. I told us earlier it's a smart object. Okay, now if I want to rasterize this object now and work on it now, I'll just right click and come down, rasterize layer. So if I rasterize this layer, any work I work on this image is going to be permanent. I can't revert it back to its normal, to its previous state. It can be reverted. So now let me to go back to your previous command. Your command is going to be Control Z. So it has restored. It has go back to my to the smart object here. So now after my selection key, under my selection and to, if I right click, you will see other options here: elliptical, mask tool, singular. So all these are all functions. So the next tool I would like to show is our lasso tool. It's also for selection. It's also used for selection. You can just select a place now. Also used for selection. Take for example, I select like this. So if I want to close that point when you come close, you will see the lasso tool, you will see a little point like a zero is going to show beside it. It means it has got to the point, to the point where I started. It has got there, and when I click on it, it automatically select that place. So that is the use of the lasso tool. So to deselect, I say Control D to deselect. To go back to my move tool, it is what? It is V. So still on the lasso tool, when you right click, there are other three tools there: the elliptical tool and the magical uh, lasso tool. They all have their own functions too. Uh, so and this tool is also, this is a magic selection tool. Let me show us how it works. So this is basically how it works now. It's We have to increase the radius. To increase the radius, you're going to click on your open your plus icon, your bracket plus to increase it. So if I want to select this image now, I'll just click on it this way. So it's to select some particular portion in your work. That is the use of the lasso tool. Select. Now, as you can see, my lasso tool is showing a plus sign at the middle. It's showing a plus sign at the middle. It's showing a plus sign. So if I want to deselect or reduce the area of my selection, I will just hold on Alt key on my keyboard. You see it? Maybe I've selected what I don't want before. I just hold on Alt key on my keyboard to go back, to reduce the area of my selection with my Alt key. To increase it, I'll move my hand and it will go back to the plus key. You see it? That is the use. If you want to select an image, that is the use of it. To reduce it, I'll hold on Alt key, Alt on my keyboard, Alt on my keyboard. That is the use of this magic selection tool. So when you right click on it, you also find out other options. So all of these tools have their function. Okay, this is a crop tool. This is also a crop tool. Okay, sorry, I forgot to deselect. Let me click on my V. That is my move tool. Control D, deselect my selection. So this is a crop tool. It's used to crop. Maybe this is the only place I need in this work now. After cropping, I click on enter. So this is the only place I need it now. I don't know if you get. So Control Z, I don't need it. All of these tools, they all have their functions. So this one is called the frame tool. The frame tool to clip marks, to change. This is also also used for, this is the eyedropper tool. The eyedropper tool used to pick colors, also to pick color. All these tools. So basically, I will just be showing us the major tool we're using for this class. Then this tool now, this is our eraser tool. Okay, let me rasterize this image so you understand how it works. So this is the eraser tool now. So if I want to reduce now, the radius of this my cycle now is the radius of how the eraser is going to work. So if I want to reduce it, I will click on the bracket button on my system, the open bracket button to reduce, to increase the open bracket button. So if I want to clean, see, I've cleaned. It has clean. So Control Z. So that is the use of the of the eraser tool. So when you right click on the eraser tool, there are other um, branches of it. We have the background eraser tool, we have the magic eraser tool. They all have their function. Like the magic eraser tool, it works where you have like a plain background and you want to erase only a particular set or only a particular kind of color in a particular image. That is when we use the magic eraser tool. Okay, I think let me set an example. Let me get an image with a simple plain background here. Which image? Okay, let me take for example this image now. Sorry about that. Remember I told us before we work, before all this function could work on an image, it have to be rasterized. Let me rasterize. Okay, now let me right click on my eraser tool now. So I come to this magic tool now. So I click on my magic eraser tool now. When I click, look at it. The background of this image, it's 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 a plain background. So when I click on the background, you see, it automatically pick the color that has something in common. The color that has, you see, even on my face, it pick it erase it, because so the its function is to pick a particular the high amount of 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 that same color that is on that particular space in which you click. So it's going to erase the whole of that color. So let me control Z to revert. Control Z. So you could also determine uh, the opacity and the tolerance of how it will pick the color. This is where tolerance is. So the tolerance is at 100. So I could reduce, if I reduce it to 50 now, let me say for example 50 and click on enter. 50, you find out that the amount of color it will erase is not going to be much like that of when it was in 100 tolerance. Let me click on it now. You see it now. My face was not erased now because I've reduced the tolerance. Tolerance is to reduce the rate or the intensity of the particular color you are erasing at that particular spot or that particular background. You see it's peak. But if you check that there are some spaces that are that in the face that are like the ear here now, it gone has gone. So basically that is the function of this. So let me undo it by Control Z. Undo what I'm doing by Control Z. So this other tool now, this is our gradient tool. Gradient tool. It is to add gradient to the surface of your workspace. Okay, for example now, let me take for example now. There is it. Let me Control Z. Let me make a simple an empty layer now, and I add and I drag my, you see it. So you could as well change the color of your gradient. This is where it is above here. To change the color of your gradient, when you click on it, you come here, you change the color of your gradient depending on your work, what you are using it for. You see it. So let me Control Z. So let me change it back to the default, which is black. Black is the default, is a transparent form of the of it. So this is our pen tool. Yes, these are text tool here now. Text. If you want to put a text in your design, these are text tool. When you right click, you see it, horizontal, vertical, you understand, vertical type max, horizontal type max. So I'm working with the horizontal. When you click on it now, my typeface is small, so I'll just click on, remember what I told us earlier, Control T to select, to click on the whole object Then to enlarge it now, I will drag. I'm going to drag. So now when you double click on it, you could edit it and put whatever you want to put. To select every of it for you to be able to control T, see it here. You can enlarge, you can reduce. You get it. So this is a function. That is its own function. And these are rectangle tool. We have the rounded rectangle, we have the elliptical tool, triangle tool, polygon, line, and custom shape. So rectangle, basically create rectangle, create different shapes. You could as well change the color. When you right click on it, you could change the color of your shape. So this is my rectangle now. Okay, now for example, now I want to get a square shape. So what I'm going to do, you're going to hold on shift key, so that each side of your shape is going to be equal. You hold on shift key, see it. You get a perfect square shape when you hold your shift key. So to be able to escape from this command, always use your shortcut key, which is your V, to move back to your move tool. That is an escape, or you click on escape, which is by the left top corner of your keyboard, your escape tool. Yeah, basically those are the major tools we'll be using for this free class. Yes, these are the major tools we'll be using. So just get used to your tools bar. Get used to it. Our shortcut for our move key is V, like I told us earlier, and our to undo a command or to redo something, I say it's Control Z. Yes, Control Z. To copy now. Take for example, this is my rectangle tool. I want to I need a different another copy of it. I'll just click on Control. After, I'll click on Control C. It's already selected. Control C, then Control V to paste it. Control V to paste. Yes. That is its function now. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So as time goes on, you get to know more of the shortcut keys. Yes, so when you come here, you see in front of every command here, the shortcut key is written in front of it. To open a new file, Control N. To open a project, Control O. All, you see it. They are shortcut keys. So to save a project now, if I want to save this, for instance, if this my work which I have done, to save it now, I will come over to File, then Save As, or Save. They all have their function now. Control. When I click on Save, come here. You choose a particular folder you want to save it in. Then there are different ways of saving. If you want to save it as a file that you could come back and edit later on, you save it as a PSD file, Photoshop file. If I click on here, you will see different format of saving file here. But if you want it to be saved in such a way that you could come back and maybe re-edit or make correction, or for references tomorrow, you save it as a PSD file. You click on your save. But if you want to save it, if you want to export an image now, you click on what? After you click on the save, you come under, you check JPEG, which is standard for image. You save as JPEG, then look for and save it at the particular folder in which you need to save it on your PC. Yes. Hope I'm not forgetting anything for this beginners class. Yes. Basically, these are the little stuff you just need to know for the purpose of this beginners class. Every other thing will be available in the advanced class as time goes on. Thank you very much for this session. See you in the next video.